pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on our agenda, we have a new board member that we're going to swear in this evening. So Aaron, if you'll go ahead and follow Kathy up front.
Governing body, so help me God.
Yes. We have a little bit of reorganization to do, so I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Kaiser to help us with that.
Every January, we go through the process, like most organizations, of electing officers. So in our situation, we have a president, vice president, and the secretary. So I would entertain nominations for president of the Beech Grove City School Board for the 2018 calendar year.
I would nominate Mr. Smiley as president of our school board.
I'll second that.
So as we look at our agenda, any other nominations?
Favor.
Pardon me?
They're all in favor.
Okay. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Okay, we have a new president. Madam President, you get to take over the next two offices.
Okay. I'm taking nominations now for Vice President, Board of School Trustees. If I could get a motion, please.
I nominate, I'm having a brain freeze.
Beth?
Beth, I'm so sorry. She said she would do it. My brain just went frozen. I apologize. I nominate Beth. I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. We'll go ahead and close nominations. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Let's do a motion now to nominate for a secretary of the Board of School Trustees.
I would nominate Jill.
Yep, second. Second that. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So it is carried. There's our new board for 2018.
And later in the meeting, we have to go back and do what's called a Board of Finance. And traditionally, we have adopted, it's just a process we have to do. We'll do that toward the end of the board meeting. So.
Alrighty, so let's turn it over to the building report and the students of the month.
Great. Well, this is the fun part of our meeting where we celebrate our great young people. So we're going to begin tonight with Hornet Park Elementary, but before Mrs. Crocus takes the stand, I'd like to just let you know that at the end of all of our Student of the Months, we'd like you to stay around and get pictures. We'd like to get pictures of the individual student, all of their teacher, if they're here, or the principals, parents, grandparents, friends, whoever came to celebrate with them. So please stay around and get pictures. Mrs. Stevens will run that program, so again, let's please stay and we'll celebrate everybody at the end. And this usually takes about 25 to 30 minutes to go through our presentation. So at the end of that, then you're free to head on to your evening and celebrate with your family. So again, we'll start with Mrs. Provis at Hornet Park.
Well, good evening, everyone. I hope you're well. I wanted to share, I feel loud, that before break at Hornet Park, that last student day, we had a special visitor to Hornet Park, and that was Santa Claus. And just something special about that is Santa delivered a very special package to one of our Hornet Park students. Her stepdad had been in active military duty, and Santa returned stepdad to the little girl at school, and that was a very special moment. So I'm hopeful that while your holidays might not have included that you were filled with delights and family time as well. So that's just a sweet little thing. At Hornet Park, we have finished our middle of the year data collection process. And so I want to give a special thank you to Mitchell Messamore, Beth Parsetich. They completed our NWEA testing. Amy Jennings and Beth Parsetich and Sumi completed our TRC score. And our classroom teachers and our interventionists all worked together to do data dashboard assessments for our students. So really taking a look at the multiple things that we're measuring and keeping tabs on throughout the year to make sure kids are progressing towards mastery. I could, as my teachers would say, go on and nerd out on the data, but we don't have time for that tonight. But I wanted to share just a couple of highlights from the grade levels. In kindergarten, at our middle of the year checkpoint, 73% of our kindergartners for their TRC, which is text reading comprehension, so their ability to read at grade level at this point, 73% of them are reading at or above grade level at this point in kindergarten, which is higher than what we normally see at middle of year kindergarten, and we're proud of that. The area of focus for our interventionists right now for our kindergartners are those sound identification. So if you have a kindergartner, most of them have mastered their letters now, and we're transitioning to understanding the sounds that those letters make. In first grade, we have 78% of our first graders who are showing mastery of their whole words read. And what that means is they can do both isolate sounds in a word and then put those together to make the word correctly. And so really proud of the progress with that whole words read piece. And our main focus of intervention for those first grade students are sight words. At this point, we want our students to have mastered about 163 sight words in first grade, and our average in the first grade is 141. So while it's our area of intervention right now, our main focus, I just wanted to let you know that that is really progressing. And that's, you know, if you're a 6 or 7-year-old and you can read 141 words, you're kind of rocking it out. So I'm proud of that as well. Parents would have gotten report cards for first grade and then individual student data dashboards for kindergarten and first grade. We want parents to have information on student progress for each of those individual skills at Hornet Park. So we hope you receive that information. I want to transition now to celebrating our students of the month. And so the first one we'll call up is Jada Cannon. Jada, will you come join me? And I have some kind words to share about sweet Jada from Mrs. Mazer on her team. She says, I see Jada at recess, lunch, and intervention time. She is always smiling brightly and eager to help. She's a great listener and a wonderful friend. Jada is a student that you can always count on to be doing the right thing and making good choices. From her teacher, Miss Caskey, she said, Jada is super sweet, always attentive, a huge helper in our class, and just the brightest smile in the room. Jada couldn't be a bigger pleasure to have in class. And then I wanted to share just how impressed I am with Jada because she is calm and consistent with her positive attitude and her behaviors, regardless of whatever may be swirling around her. Perhaps a nearby friend may be making a poor choice. You can count on Jada to be setting an example and leading by doing the right thing. So we're very proud to present Jada Cannon as our Student of the Month. And this is like double the fun. We get to do 2 Students of the Month. And so I'd like to introduce our next Student of the Month, and that is Beck Shively. And I'll hold this for you for now. Okay, come on here so they can see your handsome self. Okay. From Mrs. Taylor, she shares that Beck is such a good role model for the boys and girls on our team, and he's always setting a good example. From Miss Jennings, and we have 2 different Jennings that are going to share feedback about Beck. From Miss Jennings, she said, Beck is the absolute sweetest kid. She loves having him in class, and he's such a sweet and kind boy, always willing to participate and work with friends. He is such a joy to have at Hornet Park. Mrs. McDivitt loves Beck so much, and she shared that Beck has a fantastic personality, a kind heart, is a good friend, so hardworking, and just an all-around great kid. Miss Wetzel, who doesn't work at Hornet Park but knows Beck, said he is super cute and a snazzy dresser. And then for Mrs. Jennings, she shared that she doesn't have a lot of opportunities to interact with Beck, but when she does, it stands out and it's always memorable. That Beck is the epitome of a kindergarten boy, full of energy, inquisitive, always ready to tell a story, eyes always wide open, exploring everything in his environment, socializing with everyone, crosses his path, adults and children alike, and his mind is like a sponge and he's as cute as a button. So if we could all, she said, if they could all be like Beck, what a wonderful world it would be. Congratulations, Beck. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Provis. Our next principal is Mr. Buckler from Central Elementary.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Craig Buckler. I'm the principal at Central, and I'm just going to talk briefly about a kind of an update on our morning meetings. I think I talked about that at the beginning of the school year, that each morning the boys and girls at Central start their day with their teachers in a morning meeting. It's focused on discussions and conversations that are really building the social skills between the boys and girls and building relationships between the students and the teachers. Mrs. Wolf has provided at the beginning of the year lots of guidance and structure to the teachers to really make this a successful time. But as time has gone on, the teachers have taken ownership of that and really kind of just go to Mrs. Wolf if there's a question or something comes up that they need to have answered. What she's doing now is she's enjoying that time going from classroom to classroom to classroom and participating in those. In addition to that, for the last 12 weeks or so, the related arts teachers during that time have been doing very small morning meetings with some of our students that need a little extra attention with their social skills. So I wanted to thank Mrs. Etter, Mrs. Pfeiffer, and Ms. Long for the time that they're spending with the boys and girls. They work with them for 2 weeks at a time, integrating some music, some art, and some computer in and really developing those skills with them. It's really been amazing to see the impact that this has had. I did my middle of the year system-to-system meetings with teachers today, half today, the other half on Thursday, and almost without fail, all of the classroom teachers mentioned somehow improved learning environment, better relationships, knowing more about their boys and girls. So it has really made a significant impact. Not academic-based, but certainly those relationships help the instruction for the rest of the day. So I just want to give an update on that. My first student of the month, Cortez, is not here, but if it's all right, I think I'm going to go ahead and read what I have about him, and then I'll get him his award tomorrow morning. Cortez Holloway was selected as the student of the month for November. Cortez is a second grader in Miss Lauerman's classroom. She tells us he is great. Cortez is super respectful, always raises his hand when he needs something or to contribute to the class. He works really hard and always participates, even if he is unsure of the answer. He's organized and a great role model for the other students in the classroom. Mrs. Lawson shares that Cortez is a phenomenal little guy. He comes to Title I each day in a great mood and eager to learn. He tries his very best and is helpful to his peers. In applied technology, Mrs. Pfeiffer reports that Cortez is constantly on task. He leads by example and is a wonderful role model for the other students. When working on a project, he is constantly assisting in making sure that all the students are caught up and in the right spot. He is knowledgeable and loves to learn new things. Finally, in music, Mrs. Etter describes a student who is quiet, who tries his best to be attentive, and who participates in all classes. I'm super proud of Cortez being the student of the month, and that was for November. So great job, Cortez. Now I'm going to introduce Adam Klein is our December student of the month, and if he looks familiar, it was because he was here to support his sister, who was student of the month 2 months ago. So clearly something's going well in the Klein family. Adam is a third grader in Mrs. Duncan's classroom. Mrs. Duncan shares that Adam is a positive role model for the other students. He is respectful, responsible, liked by his peers and his teachers. He is trustworthy and helpful to all students. On the rare occasion he does something that he needs to clip down, he still does it with a smile on his face and turns that situation around. She says he is such a pleasure to have in class, and she thinks she's going to keep you until you graduate. In music, Mrs. Etter states that Adam is so sweet and well-behaved. He is a good helper and sets a good example for his classrooms. Mrs. Doty tells us Adam is a hard worker. He is thorough in his thinking and produces excellent work. He puts his best effort into everything he does. He is also very personable. He is kind to others and respectful to his classmates and the staff at Central. In applied technology, Mrs. Pfeiffer describes Adam as the example of a role model. He is constantly willing to help his classmates and shows them how to persevere. Adam is kind, generous, and displays respect at all times. She looks forward to seeing Adam do great things in the future. He is a shining example of the best of Central students, and I am super proud to present him as our Student of the Month.
I'm not sure if Mr. Buckler gave him that shirt or not, but no longer
You
accepting
know,
homework.
we just make it work.
All right, thank you, Mr. Buckler. Mrs. Reed from South Grove Intermediate.
Good evening, everybody. Lots of familiar faces tonight. Glad to see everybody. Report cards went home Friday, so for my parents at South Grove, if your child did not bring home a report card, call the school. We'll get one sent home. But I always suggest that parents sign up for the Skyward gradebook so that they can look at up-to-date grades for their children. Week from Thursday, January 18th at 9 a.m., school board, you are invited. It is the annual school spelling bee for our students. So each homeroom has a representative. We will be in the gym starting at 9 a.m. So come and join us. It usually takes about an hour and a half unless we have really great spellers like we usually do, and then it goes a little longer. And it's always fun because I look at the words and I hear them and I'm like, what is that word? They're difficult. And they have to do definitions and different things now too. So it is definitely a challenge that our children rise to, and the winner will represent South Grove in the regional spelling bee. The following Thursday after that, Thursday the 25th of January, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., we call it Donuts with Dads, but oftentimes if dads can't make it, grandpas, uncles, friends, moms show up. So it's $2 a person. Welcome, come and have breakfast with your child at South Grove. We will be in the cafeteria. We sent home letters so we could get some RSVPs because it's easier to be accurate that way. So you can always call the school and say that you will be coming with your child. We'll have somebody there taking pictures, and it's just a nice little way to start the day off for the children. And I would like to go ahead and introduce our students of the month. First of all will be Reese Van Horn. Come on up, ladies first. I have a gentleman tonight too. Thank you, ma'am. Reese is a 6th grader at South Grove Intermediate School. And I'll let you hold on to those things, okay? And she is the daughter of Cassie Van Horn. Mrs. Alkire said, Reese is a wonderful role model for all students at South Grove. She is kind and helpful, dependable, and is passionate about education. I remember that she was mayor of Biztown last year, right? Big deal. I enjoy having her as a student in music class, and I know she has a very bright future. And Mrs. Wood, her teacher this year, said, Reese is an amazing girl. She is a positive role model and strives to do her best at anything set before her. I know that Reese will do amazing things in her life with her determination and dedication to her schoolwork. I have really enjoyed having her in my classroom and getting to know her. She truly deserves this award. And Mrs. Ray, her teacher this year as well, says she is a role model. She is a very smart, hardworking, responsible, willing to help others, and asks for help when needed. She's wonderful to have in class. And Mrs. Agee said that Reese is an obvious choice for School Board Student of the Month. She embodies everything that South Grove looks for in a student. She is kind, graceful, intelligent, and always willing to help others. Her ability to listen to others and to empathize with friends and strangers alike is beautiful to see. I am so proud of Reese for being chosen to represent South Grove. Congratulations. All right. And then Connor Preer, come on up, Connor. And I knew Connor's mom when I taught at the middle school years ago. I won't say anything more. It was a long time ago, though. So I want to congratulate Connor Preer as our Student of the Month as well. He is the son of Nicole Summers and Michael Preer. And Mrs. Bear, she typed up a big old letter, but I just pulled out a little part of it. She said, evident when one observes Connor in his compassion for learning and his commitment to task. Connor clearly has a passion for doing what is best for himself when it comes to reaching his academic goals and also his role as a student leader. He is enthusiastic about coming to school and participating in learning. Connor lives his life with integrity and is one of those students that stands out as a leader. Mr. Carney, band director, said, Connor is a student who always displays the best of what South Grove offers students. He is ready to learn every day, responsible for himself and his property, and respectful of others. He holds himself to the highest standards of behavior and preparation every day, and he is constantly leading by example. Connor is an absolute joy to have in band, and I sincerely hope he enjoys the class as much as I enjoy having him. And Mr. Boer, former teacher, Connor Preer is an outstanding young man. He is always polite and willing to help. He always tries his best and will encourage others to do their best as well. He is a model South Grove Hornet. And Mrs. Miller, his teacher this year, said Connor is an exceptional sixth grade leader at South Grove. I keep hearing that word leader. I like that. He is hardworking, kind, and intelligent. He goes above and beyond in his schoolwork and sets a great example for his peers to follow. Another one of Connor's strengths would be his positive attitude. He comes to class ready to learn and ready to conquer any challenge. Connor is making a difference and impacting others as a sixth grade student at South Grove. So, congratulations, Connor.
Thank you, Mrs. Reed. Mr. Gearhart, Beech Grove Middle School.
Good evening. We too sent our report cards home on Friday, so if you did not get those, contact Beech Grove Middle School. We want to extend a special thanks to Mrs. Eckstein and the Ambassadors Club for their efforts to give our middle school from top to bottom a festive atmosphere for Christmas. Our boys basketball team has just a few games left. Their last home game will be the 16th, so if you haven't gotten out to watch them, please do. Girls basketball has started. Their first game was January 4th, and their next home game is January 25th. Wrestling will kick off their season with their first home meet on January 25th, and swimming will kick off their first home meet on January 24th. For our third 9 weeks, we had 22 students who earned all A's at Beech Grove Middle School. We had 82 7th and 8th graders who earned their way onto the A and B honor roll. And we had 83 students in the third 9 weeks that attained perfect attendance. We want to extend our congratulations to Maya Coker. She was a student of the month for us last year. She won this year's Spelling Bee at Beech Grove Middle School, and we'll move on to the regionals, and I believe that's at Franklin Central. Our second runner-up was Sam DeHeer, and our third runner-up was Justin Pinnock. Our FFA this month will take 15 students to participate in You Be the Chemist, which is a competition sponsored by Dow. And finally, please note for our parents that February 7th from 4 to 7 will be our winter parent conferences. So mark your calendars for that. That'll be from 4 to 7. And now for our first student of the month, Aubriana Carlisle. Come on up. The 8th grade language arts and history teachers are proud to nominate Aubriana Carlisle as Student of the Month for Beech Grove Middle School. Aubriana is a true representation of a model student. Her smile radiates through the room and brightens all around her. It is a pleasure to work with Aubriana. Aubriana displays a maturity and focus that allow her to grace the classroom environment. She is polite, trustworthy, and well-mannered. She works diligently on all assignments without complaint and pushes herself to excel, as witnessed by her AB honor roll status. She always has a smile on her face and is ready to tackle the challenges presented to her in each subject area. Aubriana is polite to peers and willing to assist those in need. With her quiet demeanor and strong work habits, she is a great role model to all of those around her. If all students were like Aubriana, teaching would be an easy job. She is the type of student that all teachers hope will walk through their doors. Her kind heart and dedication to school will lead her to future successes in life. Aubriana is a true Hornet. It is with great pleasure the Language Arts and History departments recognize Aubriana for her positive contributions to Beech Grove Middle School. Congratulations. And for our second student of the month, and a young lady of whom we are very proud, Mrs. Wiley.
Thank you. All right, Mrs. Dodson and Mr. Liu, get up here with me. Don't make me do this by myself. Come on up. Come on, Mrs. Dodson. Come on, Officer Rinks and Miss Kessner. Come on. Oh, yeah, whole staff. Let's go. I want to thank all of you who came to our open house last month. It was a great success. We would always welcome. Doors are always open, so please come by. We will put you to work, but please come by. We're having a great second semester in the HEA. So, Miss Jada, where are you? Come on up. You got to be up front. Come on. Here you go. Nice. All right. Jada was in my English class last year, and she came to back to school night this year and walked in and looked at me and said, "I am getting out of the HEA as soon as humanly possible." And she did. And she worked really hard to get there. We are here after just, when did you graduate? December, beginning of December. She was out around Thanksgiving, but it's beginning of December. So here's what her teachers had to say about her. Jada is a great young lady. She loves to help and has persuasive leadership skills. We've worked really hard with Jada to use her leadership skills to lead others in the right directions. She showed great compassion in the HEA, helping others calm down when they were upset, and she continues to show compassion for those who need assistance in the office when she works as an office helper. Jada has learned to recognize and remove herself from situations that become problematic. She has learned to express herself much better this year and has learned to trust the village that is Beech Grove Middle School staff, and it's evident by the amount of staff members who came tonight that she has a huge village. Jada is very empathetic and easily moved by others' pain. She wants to be a pediatric nurse someday, and we're sure that she's going to be great at helping her patients through difficult stays in the hospital. Jada is also a great athlete. She played volleyball and ran cross country this fall. Those were both great experiences for Jada. We hope that she will run track this spring and continue to be a student athlete. Jada, your teachers wanted you to know that we cannot tell you how proud we are of you. You have grown so much in such a short period of time. You'll always be one of our kids. We'll always be here for you. We'll always love you, and we can't wait to see what you do when you grow up. We know you're going to make the world better. Congratulations.
Thank you, middle school. Before we get to our final presentation tonight by our high school, I just want to remind you that afterwards we'll take pictures, so please stay around and get pictures of your family and, again, celebrate those young people who mean so much to our district. Our final principal is Mrs. Walters from Beech Grove High School.
Good evening. Welcome back, everybody. I'll echo those words. Hopefully everybody had a happy holiday. As a summary of semester 1 at the high school, we are seeing some really great gains with our skills-based assessments building-wide. But I want to focus on some gains that we have paid attention to in the last semester specifically. As you know, we service around 50 9th and 10th grade students in our HEA at the high school, and that is a new program this semester. Many of these students potentially would have not succeeded in academics, behavior, attendance, but due to this program and the successful implementation with that staff, we did transition 12 of these students into a full schedule, and the remaining students earned more credits than would have been expected. So we definitely celebrate the work in that program. We are heavily into planning for implementation of the grad pathways this semester, and we'll continue to focus heavily on our work readiness programs for students. We've already started a little of that through iSucceed. We will start that with our master scheduling process, and I am very, very confident with your support, the support of our district administration, that we will navigate that transition in the best interest of our kids. Our athletics is too much to list. We're having a great winter season. Most recently, though, the swim and dive boys team were ICC champs, so congratulations to them. We did host Riley Dance Marathon and ended up raising just over $600 more than last year. Came in with a total of $9,710.89 for Riley's Children's Hospital. And as many of you may know, that is predominantly student run, so a really, really good effort on their part. The Beech Grove FFA participated in Area 6 Forestry and Entomology contest in late November. They're required to identify 40 insects by common name and order, as well as take a written exam. The team placed first and will be moving on to state held at Purdue. They did that on December 9th. Last but certainly not least, I want to thank Mrs. Eckstein for the holiday treats by the middle school ambassadors. The staff definitely enjoyed those in one of their last clusters. And at this time, if I could have Taylor Young join me up front. Taylor is a senior, comes in with a grade point average of a 4.0 and ranks 10th in her class. She is a head drum major in marching band, the vice president of the National Honor Society, and works on band activities after hours for the community service credit. And for any of you that are a part of band, and I'm sure band parents, that is a time commitment like no other. She has been accepted at IUPUI and plans to major in information technology. And her teacher comments tonight come from Mr. Wynn. Taylor has led the Bgsn Marching Hornets as our head drum major for 3 years and competed in our marching band since she was in 7th grade, which totals 6 seasons. She's helped us qualify for 5 ISSMA state final appearances and is one of our top student leaders. Taylor works diligently to make her academics a top priority. She's a huge success story and could take any path that she chooses to excel. She will be one of the first in her family to take that next step for college next year. So please help me join. Congratulations for Taylor. And if Sarah Ramsey could join me. Sarah is a sophomore and comes in with a grade point average of 4.33. She currently ranks 3rd in her class. She's involved in show choir and drama club. She works extra hours with stagecraft on numerous occasions, painted kindness rocks that were placed at Sarah Bolton Park. She is undecided in future plans, but has interest in the area of psychology. Any decisions on that yet?
Still working on it.
Still working on it. Her teacher comment comes from Mrs. Strzelecki. She would like to nominate Sarah because of always volunteering in class and being willing to help others. She is quiet and attentive and has phenomenal work ethic. Almost all of the courses she's currently taking are advanced, honors, or AP, and she is maintaining excellent grades in all of them. We are excited to see what she becomes. Please join me in thanking her.
All right. If I could have I want to do all the students in like the one group photo first, and then I'll do individuals. In fact, since we have 2, for most of them are here, I can do it by themselves with the principals, and then the 2 together with the principal for the picture that we put over in the district office. So if I could have all the students of the month come back here first, so I can take a picture of you first, right in front of the